Hi. In this video, we'll talk about the Pilates roll-up and a big mistake that you want to avoid. Let's talk about that first because it's so important, and then we'll get to the exercise. When I teach group classes, what I see is that we tend to get really focused on the up to the point that we forget all about the roll, and it's the roll that gives us a beautifully mobile spine. What I see, and tell me if this looks familiar, is that we start curling forward and then we get stuck. We might try a little bit and then we'll fling arms and or legs just to get ourselves up to sitting. What I've done is to stiffen my back in a straight line and use my hip flexors to haul my straight spine up to sitting. So basically what I've just done, instead of using my abdominals in an articulate way to roll through my spine one vertebra at a time, I've contracted my hip flexors and my low back muscles ballistically to get me where I'm trying to go. And when you stop and think about it, do you really want to be working your lower back ballistically? So if you've been frustrated with the roll-up, I really hope you'll try working through this sequence. It starts with just a simple cat stretch because we have to be sure that we're bringing the whole spine into a rounded shape to roll over that rounded shape. And let's do the version where we try to feel like our limbs are pretty passive and it's really the spine moving itself. So as we inhale, let's release the belly toward gravity, chest coming through the arms, super long tailbone in that arch. And then the belly lifts itself up into the curve. See if you can just allow your head and your neck to hang rather than forcing anything. Back and forth with the breath. Again, feel your spine generating the movement itself as much as possible, curving back and forth. And then for a couple more of these, zero your attention in on the spot at the base of your rib cage, where your rib cage meets up with your lumbar spine. And just be especially aware of the movement coming from that very middle part of the back. And the next time we've rounded out, let's stay in that rounded shape. Let's see if we can inhale and puff upward into that rib to lumbar connecting point. Exhale and squeeze the belly up and in even higher and tighter. Be sure your neck and your head are still hanging easy. Couple more rounds of breath. Inhaling to puff way up, exhaling to hug hollow, including pelvic floor activation. And the next time you're inhaling, let's just lengthen to neutral and go ahead and have a seat with your legs out in front of you. Beautiful. Now, if you don't have a ring, totally fine. Grab a towel, roll it up. It works just as well. What you're looking for on this is to use the strength of the leg to let the press of the leg support you so that your arms can hang loose. And then, more importantly, the spine can hang loose and you feel free and relaxed to really hang into the curve. Let's sit tall. One leg is going to stay bent however much. Let's lengthen the other leg forward and get the ring around the arch of the foot. So first of all, we're just experimenting. We're going to reach out and grab with both hands. We're going to rock back toward the back of the sit bones. Yeah, just tipping. And do a small teeter-totter back and forth between your torso and your leg so that you really zero in on that place where you can feel the most relaxed balance. Upper body's just hanging, leg is dropping forward, totally being supported. Yeah, because we want to be in that position of easy balance to do our same cat stretch back to neutral. So exhale, pull through the middle, hollow, really curve through the rib to lumbar, mid-back area, and then inhale, lengthen back out. Yeah, and just back and forth a couple times. Great, yeah. Next time you come into that curve, same thing. Let's stay here. Let's see if we can inhale into the back to feel even more open and curvier back there. Exhale, hollow the navel even deeper. Yeah, so a couple rounds of breath should just deepen our C curve. Beautiful. And so then our goal is to just use the abdominals to maintain that nice deep curve so we can rock back and forth. Now this leg can bend, it can stay straight, whatever gives you that sense of an easy rock and roll back and forth over your C curve. And we just keep hollowing the navel, looking into the navel. Nice wide shoulder blades without getting too shruggy. Beautiful. The other leg can do whatever it needs to do. Now let's see if we can rock back and then bend the knee enough that you can release all the way flat to the mat. Then use the push of the leg to first recreate the curve, then roll through back up to that sitting position. Yeah. So we're in our deep C curve. See how many vertebrae we can lay down while keeping the curve. Remember that shape. Lay down flat. And then come right back into that same curve. Same vertebrae are on the mat as the shoulder blades curl out of there and forward. Awesome. Now go ahead and set that all the way down. Set the ring aside real quick. Let's do our best to recreate that. This straight leg can bend and drag in. I know I find that helpful, but can we get to the same rock back in the curve? Let the arms come back as we open out of our curve. All right, here's the big challenge. Can we find the curve again? Feel free to grab your thighs if you need to feel like we're staying in the curve. Yeah, we don't pop into a flat back to try to force our way up out of there. And one more time, back and forth. Good, good, good. Long reach and forward. And again, once you create the curve, go ahead and just catch the legs, give yourself a boost. And then let's stretch the legs out. Let's sit up tall. So we're back to a nice long spine. Soften the knees if needed so we can rock to the front of the sit bones with the length through the spine. And then go ahead and take your easy stretch over. Fantastic. Even here, belly is active. Carve and hollow and lift to support this shape from underneath. Next inhale, rolling up tall, and let's check out the other side. So we have our free leg bent however much. Start with your initial tip back, and with the spine staying pretty long, let's just do that easy rock back and forth. Yeah, the leg should feel so heavy, hanging in the loop there. Upper body hanging loose. Good. Okay, find that balance point. Hover there, and let's exhale, hollow C curve. Inhale, lengthen. Feel how the pelvis is rocking back and forth, tucking, and getting a little bit more toward the sit bones again. Yep. And then go ahead and stay in that curve. Now let's stay in the curve at first. So we're just going to roll back as far as we can, staying fully curved, and then drive through the leg to get back up to the sit bones. Yeah. So really what we're practicing here is, can we find that forward return still in the curve? That's where you might have an impulse to pop the ribs out of the curve. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so on your next one, take it as far as you can, and then maybe the leg bends a little to let us lay the rest of the way down. Right back into that curve shape to then smoothly roll through and get up to the seat. Gorgeous. Couple more times. Really thorough exhale so we can collapse the belly, the solar plexus backward into that curve. Yes, beautiful. Okay, this is our last one supported by the ring. And so when we come up, we will come all the way forward and set that aside. Right away, look for that same C curve shape, round, 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 rolling through, full opening. Again, recreate the curve, and don't be shy about using your arm to leg connection, to just give yourself that extra boost so the ribs don't panic and try to leap out of the front of the body. So beautiful. And let's get one more of those. And whenever you next arrive at the top, we will lengthen the legs out, find your tall posture one more time. Rocking forward on the sit bones as far as we can, and then follow that into your easy fold. Beautiful. Again, still lifting the belly. Trying to breathe into and puff up those back ribs. Okay, next inhale, let's roll up. And then, so if today was your first day to practice that sequence, using the ring or the towel and your leg strength may not have immediately translated to being able to do the full roll up without any props. But I promise if you keep practicing that way, over time you'll develop that balance of strength and mobility that lets you do the full movement without any props.